Let me tell you a brutal truth that most people are too afraid to face. A truth that is keeping you locked in a cage of your own making. You are waiting for a rescue boat that is never coming. You are sitting there perhaps right now holding on to this quiet hope that someday the stars will align. The motivation will hit you like a lightning bolt and everything will suddenly make sense. But I need you to understand this. Someday is not a day on the calendar, it is a lie. It is a comforting fiction you tell yourself to avoid the pain of realizing that your life is slipping through your fingers hour by hour, day by day. We are talking about 2026. But if you are waiting for the ball to drop, if you are waiting for a New Year's resolution to change your life, you have already lost. The person you will be in 2026 is being built right now in the trenches of today, in the silence of this very moment. Look at your life right now. Really look at it. It is a direct reflection of your habits, how you think, how you show up, and how you react. If you feel stuck, lost, or mentally exhausted, it is not because you are broken. It is because your daily habits are working against you. You have been living on autopilot, reacting to the world instead of creating it. And if you don't stop this cycle today, I promise you 6 months from now, you will be in the exact same place, feeling the exact same heavy regret. You see, most people live in quiet defeat. They scroll, they compare, they envy, and they wonder why they feel weak. They chase comfort, yet they feel exhausted. They avoid pain, yet they suffer daily. The irony is suffocating comfort is killing you slowly. You have been taught to run from pain, to seek the path of least resistance to protect your feelings. But the ancient Stoics knew something that we have forgotten. That the hard path, the one that looks painful and uncertain, is the only path that leads to power. Do you want to become unstoppable? Do you want to walk into 2026 as a ghost, a new version of yourself that your old friends don't even recognize? Then you have to understand that you don't become unstoppable by accident. You become unstoppable by design. And that design starts with a decision that terrifies the weak part of your brain. The decision to stop negotiating with yourself. Think about this morning. The alarm went off. In that split second, you had a choice. You could get up and attack the day, or you could hit snooze and stay in the warmth. Most people hit snooze. They start their day with a defeat. They start their day by breaking a promise to themselves. And then they wonder why they lack confidence. Confidence isn't some magical feeling that falls from the sky. Confidence is the reputation you have with yourself. It is built by keeping promises. It is forged by doing the things you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has left you. You have to realize that you are in a constant battle with a voice in your head that wants you to be average. It whispers that you're tired, that you've done enough, that you can start tomorrow. It sounds reasonable, it sounds logical, it sounds protective, but it is a liar. That voice is the enemy of your potential. Laziness is a master negotiator. And if you listen to it, if you give it an inch, it will take your entire future. You cannot negotiate with laziness. You have to kill it. You have to look that feeling in the eye and say, I am doing this anyway. Because here is the secret that the top 1% know: the people you admire, the people who seem to have limitless energy and drive, they don't always want to do it. They are not superhuman. They just stop waiting to feel like it. They realize that motivation is a fickle friend who is never there when you need him most. Discipline. True raw discipline is forcing yourself to do what must be done, even when every fiber of your being is screaming no. It is moving your body when it feels heavy. It is opening the book when your eyes are tired. It is sitting in the chair and doing the work when the sun is shining outside and everyone else is playing. This is how you rewire your brain. You think you can't change? You think you are just this way? That is nonsense. Your brain is plastic. It changes based on what you feed it. If you feed it excuses, it gets good at making excuses. If you feed it delay, it gets good at procrastination. But if you force repetition, if you force yourself to act immediately without hesitation, you create a new neural pathway. You start to become the kind of person who just does. You stop being a person who talks about potential and start being a person who delivers results. And it starts with your words. Listen to me. Your words are not just sounds coming out of your mouth. They are instructions. They are energy. You have been casting spells on yourself for years and you didn't even know it. When you say, I'm always tired, I'm anxious, I'm not good at this, I'll never get ahead, you are placing an order with the universe, and your subconscious mind is working overtime to fulfill it. You are literally programming your own defeat. You need to change the narrative. You need to stop speaking to yourself like a victim and start speaking to yourself like a commander. You need to adopt the mindset of I am not I hope to be, not I'll try to be. I am becoming disciplined. I am the kind of person who shows up. I am unstoppable. Even if you don't believe it yet, especially if you don't believe it yet, you speak it until you become it. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and what you vividly imagine and affirm. If you tell yourself you are weak, you will find evidence of weakness everywhere. But if you tell yourself you are capable, if you choose words that empower you, your brain will start to scan the environment for opportunities to prove you right. But words alone are not enough. You need a plan. You cannot walk into the battlefield of life without a strategy and expect to win. Most people wake up and react. They check their phone. They scroll through other people's lives. They let the world dictate their mood before they've even brushed their teeth. That is a recipe for a mediocre existence. You need to win the morning to win the day. Before you go to sleep tonight, you need to decide how tomorrow is going to go. You don't let the day happen to you. You happen to the day. You write down your top 3 priorities. Not a laundry list of busy work that makes you feel productive but get you nowhere. I'm talking about the 3 things that actually move the needle. And when you wake up, you execute. You don't think, you don't ponder, you don't ask yourself how you feel. You just go. There is a power in this that is almost spiritual. When you stop hesitating, when you count down 3, 2, 1 and just move, you interrupt the pattern of fear, you break the chain of overthinking. Action kills fear. Action builds confidence. You have been waiting to feel confident before you start. But confidence is the reward, not the prerequisite. You earn it in the fire. You earn it in the sweat. You earn it in the silence of the early morning when you are working while the rest of the world is sleeping. And let's talk about that work. Let's talk about the grind. Because somewhere along the way, we got soft. We started thinking that if something is hard, it means it's wrong. We started thinking that life is supposed to be easy, comfortable, and fair. But fairness is a myth. Life owes you nothing. The world doesn't care if you're tired. The world doesn't care if you're stressed. The clock is ticking regardless. Stoicism teaches us to embrace discomfort like a friend. Why? Because the obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. The very thing you are avoiding, the conversation you don't want to have, the workout you don't want to do, the project you are afraid to start, that is exactly where your growth is hiding. That resistance you feel, that is your compass. It is pointing you directly toward the person you need to become. When you run from discomfort, you are running from your own potential. You are choosing to stay small. But when you lean into it, when you voluntarily choose hardship, you build an unbreakable will. You start to realize that you can handle more than you thought. You stop being afraid of the storm because you become the storm. Think about the next 6 months. 6 months is all it takes to completely change your life. Not 10 years, 6 months. If you locked in, if you truly committed to a level of intensity you have never reached before. If you eliminated every distraction, every excuse, every toxic relationship that drains your energy. Where could you be? You could be unrecognizable, but you have to be willing to die to your old self. You have to be willing to let go of the person who hits snooze. Let go of the person who needs approval. Let go of the person who is addicted to comfort. You have to start operating with a sense of urgency because time is running out. You act like you have forever. You act like there is always tomorrow, but there are only so many tomorrows. One day you will run out of them. And there is nothing more painful than looking back at a life filled with almost and coulds, and realizing you wasted your time on things that didn't matter. You need to become a warrior for your own time. Treat your time like money. You wouldn't throw your wallet out the window. So why do you throw your hours away on mindless scrolling and gossip? Every hour is a brick in the foundation of your future. You are either building a palace or you are digging a grave. There is no neutral ground. And this journey, it will require you to be lonely sometimes. It will require you to say no to people you like so you can say yes to the destiny you deserve. It will require you to be misunderstood. People will say you are obsessed. They will say you work too hard. They will try to pull you back down to their level because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Let them talk. You are not here to fit in. You are here to become who you were created to be. You must learn to detach from the outcome and fall in love with the process. This is where so many people fail. They want the prize without the pursuit. They want the abs without the gym. They want the millions without the risk. But the Stoics taught us to focus only on what we can control. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control what others think of you. You cannot control the weather. But you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control how you respond when life knocks you down. And life will knock you down. That is a guarantee. You will face setbacks. You will face failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone to success. The only way to truly fail is to quit. If you get up one more time than you fall, you are winning. You have to develop a relationship with pain that is different from the average person. The average person feels pain and retreats. The unstoppable person feels pain and says, "Good. This means I'm pushing boundaries. This means I'm alive." You have to learn to use pressure. Don't wait for life to pressure you. Apply it to yourself. Set deadlines that scare you. Demand standards from yourself that seem unreasonable to others. Raise the bar so high that you have to grow just to reach it. Imagine yourself in 2026. Truly visualize it not as a daydream, but as a reality that is waiting for you to claim it. Who is that person? How do they walk? How do they speak? How do they handle stress? That person is calm under pressure. That person is disciplined not because they have to be, but because it is who they are. That person has self-respect, the kind that comes from knowing they didn't cut corners. Now look at yourself today. There is a gap between who you are and who you want to be. That gap is filled with the work you are avoiding. It is filled with the fear you are indulging. It is filled with the excuses you are making. And the only way to close that gap is to start moving right now, not later. Later is a dream killer. You have to stop waiting for permission. No one is coming to tap you on the shoulder and say it's your turn. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. You have to be the hero of your own story. And that starts by taking radical responsibility for everything in your life, where you are financially, physically, emotionally. It is a result of your choices. That might hurt to hear, but it is also the most liberating truth you will ever learn. Because if you got yourself here, you can get yourself out. You need to feed your mind with wisdom, not garbage. Your mind is a garden. If you plant weeds, fear, doubt, negativity, that is what will grow. But if you plant seeds of strength, of philosophy, of strategy, you will harvest a life of power. Read the books, listen to the mentors, study the greats. Don't just watch this video and nod your head. Study it. Apply it. One idea executed violently is better than 1,000 ideas just sitting in your head. And don't forget the body. You cannot have a strong mind in a weak body. They are connected. When you push your body, when you sweat, when you train, you are training your mind to endure. You are teaching yourself that you can keep going. When you are tired, that lesson translates to everything. To your business, to your relationships, to your darkest moments. Movement is medicine. Movement is momentum. When you feel stuck mentally, move physically, change your state. But perhaps the most dangerous trap you need to avoid is the trap of fairness. Stop expecting life to be fair. Bad things happen to good people. Hard work doesn't always get immediate recognition. If you go through life keeping a scorecard, waiting for the world to pay you back, you will end up bitter and resentful. The Stoic accepts the world as it is, not as they wish it to be. They don't waste energy complaining about the rules of the game. They just play the game better than anyone else. They focus on their own virtue, their own actions, their own integrity. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Stop doing things for the likes. Stop doing things for the applause. Do them because they are right. Do them because they build character. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. That is where self-esteem comes from. You can't buy it. You can't fake it. You have to earn it rep by rep, choice by choice, day by day. So as we stand here looking toward the future, toward 2026, I need you to ask yourself a question that should haunt you. If you are not living up to your potential, what could I be if I stripped away the fear, the laziness, the procrastination? What is actually possible for me? You have a reservoir of potential inside you that you haven't even touched yet. You are operating at 40% capacity. You think you're working hard, you have more. You think you're tired. You have reserves you don't even know about. The human mind is designed to keep you safe, to conserve energy. But you are not here to be safe. You are here to be great. You are here to expand to access that other 60%. You have to embrace the concept of forcing yourself. It sounds harsh. I know we live in a soft world that tells you to be gentle with yourself, to take it easy. And yes, self-love is important. But sometimes the greatest act of self-love is not letting yourself off the hook. It is demanding that you live up to your potential. It is refusing to let yourself rot in mediocrity. You need to create a system where you don't have to think. You just execute. You stick to good habits until they feel natural. At first, it will be a war. Your old habits will fight back with everything they have. They will use your fatigue, your stress, your boredom against you. You have to survive that transition period. You have to hold the line until the new behavior becomes your identity. And when you feel like quitting, when the darkness closes in and you feel like you can't take another step, that is the moment the magic happens. That is the moment where you separate yourself from the herd. Most people quit there. If you keep going, if you take one more step and then another, you enter a realm that few people ever see, the realm of the unstoppable. But to get there, you have to stop looking for shortcuts. There are none, there is no elevator to the top. You have to take the stairs, and the stairs are steep and they are slippery and it is dark. But you have to climb. You have to learn to be happy even when life is hard. This sounds like a contradiction, but it is a superpower. If your happiness depends on everything going perfectly, you will be miserable. But if you can find joy in the struggle, if you can find gratitude in the grind, if you can smile while you are sweating and bleeding for your dreams, then you are truly dangerous, because nothing can break a person who loves the fight itself. Gratitude is not soft. It is a weapon. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It gives you the energy to keep going. Start your day with it. End your day with it. Not as a routine, but as a practice of armoring your mind against negativity. And finally, you need to conduct an audit of your life. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they fans or are they fuel? Do they push you to be better or do they comfort you in your mediocrity? You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you are the smartest, most driven person in the room, you are in the wrong room. You need to be around people who expose your weaknesses, who challenge your thinking, who make you run faster just to keep up. This path, this road to 2026, it is not for the faint of heart. It is for the hungry. It is for those who look at their lives and say, "This is not enough, I am not done." So here is the plan. It starts with a 6-month window. 6 months of absolute laser-focused intensity. No days off, no excuses, no "I'll do it later." You are going to map out your days. You are going to control your morning. You are going to guard your energy like it is gold. You are going to speak to yourself with respect and power. And you are going to do the hard things, especially when you don't want to. Because every time you do the hard thing, you put a deposit in the bank of self-trust. And when that account gets big enough, when you have stacked enough wins, you walk into a room differently. You speak differently. You don't need to tell people you're unstoppable. They can feel it. The clock is ticking. 2026 is coming. Whether you are ready or not, the question is, who will you be when it arrives? Will you be the same person making the same excuses, living the same limited life? Or will you be the person who looked in the mirror today and decided no more? The choice is yours. But remember, you don't have as much time as you think you do. You have to understand that this transformation, this shift from who you are to who you must become, requires a new relationship with your own mind. You can't just hope for a good day. You have to enforce it. The biggest lie you've been told is that you need to feel ready to act. You don't. In fact, if you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, your life right now is a direct reflection of your habits. And if you're stuck, it's not because you're broken. It's because your daily habits are working against you. So let's talk about the mechanics of this machine you are building. It starts before you even open your eyes. You must learn the discipline of planning your day before the world distracts you. You should never walk into a day unprepared. If you do, life will take over. And if you don't have a plan, someone else does. Before you go to sleep tonight, you need to finish tomorrow. You ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things I need to do? Not 30 things, just 3. Writing them down forces clarity. It eliminates the noise. And it gives your subconscious mind a clear set of instructions. And when that morning comes, when that alarm screams at you in the dark, you face the first real battle of the war. This is where you face your laziness directly and refuse to negotiate. Laziness is cunning. It doesn't always look like doing nothing. Sometimes it looks like scrolling. Sometimes it looks like busy work. But it is always a trap. You have to realize that laziness never runs out of excuses. But if you refuse to negotiate, if you stand up immediately, you build the kind of strength that changes your life. This is the rule you must live by. Take small actions immediately to train instant response. The moment you think of doing something productive, you move. You don't give your brain the seconds it needs to talk you out of it. If you hesitate, you lose. But if you act before your brain has time to debate, you win. You count down 3, 2, 1 and you go. You treat your body like a machine that obeys your command, not a child that needs to be coaxed. Now, as you move through your day, you have to guard your energy with a level of ruthlessness you have never possessed before. You need to say no to things that drain your energy. Every single day, you are being pulled in 100 directions. People want your time. Notifications beg for your attention. But you have to understand that your energy is your life force. You cannot pour yourself into your dreams and into distractions at the same time. You have to choose. If it doesn't align with your purpose, your values, or your priorities, it doesn't deserve your energy. This brings us to the people around you. You need to conduct an audit of your circle. Are the people in your life lifting you up, or are they dragging you down? If they aren't helping you grow, they have to go. That sounds harsh, but your environment matters. If you are surrounded by negativity, it will seep into you. You need a circle that challenges you, not one that comforts you in your stagnation. A positive circle isn't about the number of friends you have. It's about the energy they bring into your life. Sometimes you have to be willing to walk alone for a while to find the people who are going where you are going. Solitude is better than toxic company. But the most dangerous company you keep is the voice in your own head. You need to talk to yourself like someone you respect. Most of us speak to ourselves with a harshness we would never use on a friend. We judge, we criticize, we say, "I'm always tired," or "I always mess this up." You have to stop that. Your words are not just descriptions, they are instructions. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a joke and a command. If you say, "I'm not good at this," your mind will find ways to fulfill that command. You have to replace that negative self-talk with strict self-direction. You don't need to be fake positive. You need to be precise and commanding. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you say, "I will take the first step." You have to speak a new reality into existence. You don't predict the future. You create it with your tongue. Start using the phrase, "I am." I am becoming disciplined. I am the kind of person who executes. I am unstoppable. When you change your words, you change the instructions you are giving to the universe. And listen to me closely, because this is where the weak fall off. You have to learn to embrace discomfort like a friend. We live in a world addicted to ease, but the ancient Stoics knew that the hard path is the only path that leads to power. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. You have to stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I become stronger?" You must practice voluntary hardship. Take the cold shower. Fast for 24 hours. Do the workout when you are exhausted. You are not doing this to punish yourself. You are doing this to prepare yourself. You are callousing your mind so that when life actually hits you, and it will, you don't crumble. You stand tall because you have already been in the fire by choice. This is about building mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to keep moving forward when every part of you wants to stop. It is choosing effort over relief. Relief feels good in the moment, but it leaves you weak. Effort hurts in the moment, but it builds a legacy. You have to train your nervous system to stop interpreting challenge as a threat and start interpreting it as growth. But don't mistake this hardness for misery. You must push yourself to be happy even when life is hard. Happiness is not a prize you get at the finish line. It is a skill you practice during the race. If you keep saying, "I'll be happy when I get the promotion," you are delaying your life. You have to find the small wins. Look back at today and ask what improved. Did you show more patience? Did you follow through on a task? These small moments build the character that sustains you. Gratitude is the weapon here. It's not soft, it's strategic. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. And that shift releases the energy you need to keep grinding. When you focus on problems, they grow. When you focus on blessings, your strength grows. Do not let the sun go down without acknowledging 3 things you fought for and won today. You need to understand the concept of the gap. There is a gap between who you are and who you want to be. And that gap is filled with the work you are avoiding. To close it, you must stick to good habits until they feel natural. At first, it will be a war. Your brain will resist. It will scream for the old ways. But if you push past that resistance, if you force the repetition, the behavior will eventually belong to you. It will move from something you try to do to something you are, and you have to stop expecting fairness. Life owes you nothing. Bad things happen to good people. You can work hard and still fail. The Stoic doesn't cry about the rules of the game. They just play it better. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. You can't control the economy, the weather, or other people's opinions. But you can control your effort, your attitude, and your response. That is where your power lies. As we move closer to 2026, you need to operate with a sense of urgency that borders on obsession. You act like you have forever, but you are dying. The Stoics meditated on death not to be morbid, but to wake up. Memento mori, remember you will die. This realization should strip away your fear of failure. Who cares if you fail? You're going to be dead soon anyway, so you might as well go Alan. You might as well live fully. You need to become a warrior for virtue, not approval. Stop living for the likes. Stop living for the applause. Do the right thing because it is right. Do the work in the dark when no one is watching. That is what builds an identity that no one can take away from you. 6 months. That is the timeline. 6 months of absolute laser-focused intensity. If you lock in right now, if you eliminate every distraction, if you wake up every day with a plan and execute it without mercy, you will be unrecognizable. But you have to decide. You have to decide that you are done with the old you. You have to decide that you are worth the effort. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you the life you want. You have to build it with your own hands. You have to embrace the grind. It's not glamorous. It's lonely. It's quiet. It's you in the early morning doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood has left you. But that is where legends are made. That is where you prove to yourself who you really are. So here is your marching order. Tonight you plan your day. Tomorrow you wake up and you attack. You move before your mind can object. You speak victory over your life. You cut the dead weight from your circle. You embrace the pain of growth. And you do it again the next day and the next. Don't look left. Don't look right. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Stay in your lane. Run your race. Keep your eyes on the vision of who you will be in 2026. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is your one life. The clock is ticking. The world is moving. The question is, are you moving with it or are you being left behind? The door is open. The path is clear. But you have to take the first step. You have to decide right here, right now, that you are finished with mediocrity. You are finished with excuses. You are finished with waiting. Become the storm. Become the force that life has to reckon with. Become the person who looks in the mirror and sees a warrior, not a victim. It's time to go to work. Unstoppable. That is what you are becoming now. Go get it.